I became famous in the entertainment industry simply because I eat too well. Why didn't I try mukbang before? I could devour the whole world. I love every kind of food. Every time I eat, I'm full of energy, my eyes shine like headlights, leaving everyone around in awe. One male celebrity once joked that he wanted to marry me just so he could cook for me every day. But then, a powerful boss in Beijing personally replied, I was only on a business trip, not missing in action. Stop worrying about my wife's meals. My name is An Ning, a nameless 18th tier actress in the entertainment world. Online, I don't have any real fans. All of my so-called popularity is supported by 30,000 fake accounts I bought for 50 yuan. My manager refuses to believe in fate. He insists I'll make it big. After running around endlessly, he finally managed to get me on a famous food variety show as a background guest. Before filming, he reminded me, be careful, keep up your cold beauty image, and don't talk too much. I nodded seriously. During the recording, I was obedient. I only said 3 lines. Hello everyone, I'm An Ning. Please give me 3 more ladles of rice. Those fish, shrimp, and pork trotters, since no one touched them, can I pack them to go later? The director of the show looked disgusted and waved his hand, telling me to do whatever I wanted. When I walked off set carrying a big bag of leftovers, my manager was so embarrassed he covered his face and ran away. Well, I just didn't want the food to go to waste. The following week, that food program aired. I was just a background guest, only appearing for a few seconds, but suddenly, I climbed to the top of the hot search list. For some reason, netizens commented that watching this unknown actress eat rice gave them an undescribable sense of reverence. Her eyes lit up at the sight of pork trotters, as if the food was controlling her brain. The way she ate so full of life made me feel excited too. 2 bowls of rice in a row. I hate it, but I couldn't stop watching. She ate purely on instinct, with no hesitation at all, like a creature acting on primal hunger. It's been so long since we've seen a female celebrity eat without pretending. I love it. Oh, right, what's this actress's name again? Some even turned my pork trotter face into a meme, spreading it across Douyin and Bilibili. My clips kept being shared, becoming inspiration for countless popular bloggers. That same night, my follower count suddenly increased by several million. My popularity even surpassed the scandal of a famous male idol. My manager was dumbfounded. I was also in shock. Am I famous now? My manager immediately tore down the cold, aloof persona the company had built for me. He was practically ecstatic. From now on, your image is the glutton queen. Eat. Just eat with all your might. As long as you don't collapse from overeating, then eat like your life depends on it. I was a little excited myself. Eating freely, without limits, what's not to love? To strengthen my new image, my manager quickly signed me up for a reality show called Have You Eaten Yet? The content was simple: cooking, eating, sleeping, and working. Many celebrities praised Teacher Wang, a regular guest, saying his cooking was amazing. But behind the scenes, this program often trended on the hot search because of rumors about backstage rivalries, fake eating, terrible food, and all sorts of tricks to promote or suppress each other. It became such a phenomenon that people even started analyzing celebrity facial expressions. Well, at least the food itself didn't deserve a bad reputation. As for me, I don't cry over the troubles of the world. I only lose sleep when I don't get to eat. No more being lazy. Time to get to work. When I arrived at the filming site, I was munching on a fried egg pancake when I suddenly looked up and noticed a young man in a white shirt and black trousers sitting there enjoying the breeze. Broad shoulders, slim waist, straight posture, a handsome face. Combined with the rural scenery of the shoot, it looked as though he was posing for a fashion magazine spread. All the staff and guests were crowding around him, fussing over him nonstop. My manager hurriedly pulled me aside and whispered, "That's Shen Qi-wen, a Beijing tycoon." Strange. What's someone like him doing on this kind of show? I blinked. Maybe he's hungry too? My manager flicked my forehead, not too hard, but with exasperation. He wished he could train me into someone more polished. "Do you think everyone is only here to eat like you?" I gave an awkward smile. My manager looked helpless. "Later, you should try to get close to him. Pour some water, pick up some food for him. Don't just bury your head in eating. The whole network is watching this live stream. But don't overdo it either. Just get him to notice you. Who knows? If he's in a good mood, he might casually toss you some resources. That would make it so much easier for you to climb the ladder." I obediently nodded. After finishing the last bite of my egg pancake, I stepped onto the set. The comments started rolling in immediately. "Her foodie comrade arrived. Time to get the instant noodles ready so we can feast together with her." "An Ning is here. The real challenge begins. Will Teacher Wang's cooking actually be delicious?" Oh wow, such a fresh perspective. She's seriously threatening Teacher Wang's reputation right now. Haha. Thanks to the hot search from last time, I had gained a bit of fame. From an 18th tier nobody, I had suddenly leapt to at least a 5th tier vase actress. The other guests politely greeted me when they saw me, except for Shen Qi-wen. He merely lowered his head indifferently, as if he couldn't care less about some unknown actress like me. I responded politely to everyone, then quickly scanned the kitchen ingredients. A mountain of fresh seafood, perfect. All kinds of meat, excellent. Loads of vegetables, wonderful. Even mushrooms, a dream. Nothing I needed to avoid. After the greetings, I was about to head into the kitchen to help, hoping Teacher Wang would cook with less spice. But just then, the usually silent Shen Qi-wen suddenly spoke up. "I'm thirsty." As if he was waiting for someone to serve him. The live comments exploded. If it were anyone else acting this arrogant, I'd scold him instantly. But because it's Shen Qi-wen, I don't dare. And why exactly can't we scold him? He might be handsome, but this grumpy attitude of his, I have to complain. Just turn on the TV, switch to the premium channel, and watch the business news replay. You'll see him sitting in the front row of a top-tier business summit. Thank you, I saw that. My husband sits in the front row at national conferences. What's wrong with that kind of attitude? The celebrities around were stunned by Shen Qi-wen's words, then scrambled to pour tea for him. In the end, a popular traffic actor managed to get ahead. He bent respectfully and poured a cup of tea. "President Shen, please try this tea. It's not bad." But Shen Qi-wen didn't even touch the tea. Instead, he lifted his eyes, gaze passing over everyone else and landing directly on me. "You, come here." Everyone turned their heads in unison. I pointed at myself. "Me?" Shen Qi-wen nodded, raising an eyebrow with mild impatience. "Who else?" "Oh." I walked over and plopped down right beside him, then poured a glass of plain water and set it down in front of him with a sharp clack. Maybe I didn't control my strength because the water splashed out. Several drops even landed on his hand. All the guests and staff looked at me as if to say, "Are you insane?" The livestream comments blew up instantly. Damn, An Ning is going too far. Trying to use her realness to catch Shen Qi-wen's attention. The last actress who tried to impress him, her grave's already 3 meters deep. just when I started to like her, she pulls cheap tricks like this. Wait, doesn't it look like Shen Qiwen actually knows An Ning? My manager standing off set was desperately signaling me to stop being reckless and hurry to apologize. But under everyone's gaze, Shen Qiwen simply wiped the droplets from his hand calmly. Then he lifted the glass and took a slow sip. His long, elegant fingers around the cup were almost mesmerizing. Just as everyone let out a sigh of relief, my stomach suddenly growled loudly. Grumble, grumble. The microphone picked up every sound, clear as day. Everyone around me froze, faces going from pale to green. My manager's eyes rolled so hard he was about to faint. The live comments, "This isn't a foodie image anymore. This is just plain stupid. Get her out, foodie comrade or not." Wait, did anyone notice that Shen Qiwen just smiled? I awkwardly hugged my stomach. I had just eaten an egg pancake, but now I was already hungry again. Next time, I'd better ask the vendor to add 2 more eggs. While everyone was still in shock, Shen Qiwen suddenly raised his eyes. He looked at the other guest, his tone perfectly polite. "Excuse me, when will the meal be ready?" He didn't care at all about my so-called rudeness. The guests looked at one another, relieved. The regular chef guest quickly stepped forward and said, "President Shen, today we're not working late. I'll start cooking right away. Dinner will be ready in 30 minutes. Thank you. Please make 1 or 2 dishes less spicy." Of course, of course. Everyone went back to cooking or fawning over him. The show kept rolling. I sat beside Shen Qiwen, listening to all the flattery being thrown his way. I felt restless, especially with the female star constantly elbowing in on my side. So I decided to get up and head to the kitchen, maybe sniff the dishes and lend a hand. But the moment I shifted in my seat, I felt a hand on my leg under the table. The touch wasn't forceful, but it was clear he didn't want me to leave. Thinking the cameras wouldn't catch what was happening under the table, I gently poked at that hand in return. Then that hand suddenly clasped mine, tightly, intimately. I cleared my throat and hurried to act attentive by pouring more water for Shen Qiwen. "President Shen, have some more water." Shen Qiwen no longer looked as cold as when he first arrived. He glanced at me once, then instead of answering, asked back, "What did you just call me?" I froze, sneaking a look at the camera pointed directly at me. The guest celebrities around us and the mic clipped to my collar were recording every word. Oh God, what am I supposed to do? How could I possibly call Shen Qiwen husband in front of everyone? But the truth is, this Beijing tycoon Shen Qiwen is my husband. I'm just an unknown 18th tier actress. If anyone leaked this, hardly anyone would believe it. Some might even call me crazy. But he really is my husband. Legally married, living together, he could even be called my childhood husband. This goes back to my father. Years ago, while collecting firewood in the mountains, he stumbled upon Shen Qiwen unconscious. Later, we learned he had escaped from human traffickers. No one knew how long he had been running before collapsing on that mountain behind our village. Back then, finding missing family was much harder. Information barely spread. A child picked up in such a remote place would almost never be traced back to his parents. So Shen Qiwen stayed with my family, and in name became my foster husband. He grew up alongside me, climbing mountains, swimming rivers, feeding pigs and cows, going to school. Whenever I got into trouble, he took the blame. Whenever he was sick, I cared for him. Whatever food I liked, he would save up every coin to buy it for me. His handsome face matured year by year until girls and women from ages 8 to 80 in nearby villages couldn't help but be smitten. Then came the summer when he turned 18. The traffickers were finally caught, and Shen Qiwen's biological parents arrived in the village in a sleek car with 4 rings on the front. They looked so distinguished.
People in the village said it was a naughty. I had never heard of it, probably some cheap car. After all, the village head drove one with 5 rings. That must have been the real luxury car. More rings than 4 obviously meant double the price. Anyway, the reunion with his biological family was a grand event. A neighbor sighed, saying our family was about to strike it rich. But my parents only explained how Shen Wen had grown up in our home, accepted a token sum for food expenses, and then went back to slaughtering a pig. With one clean slash, the pig squealed miserably. Shen Wen's parents turned pale with fright. Afterward, Shen Wen kissed me for a long, lingering moment. He leaned to my ear, his voice hoarse. "Wait for me." I nodded. I waited for years, but he never came back. Just as I buried my face in my hands, tears about to spill, my manager appeared, astonished. "You joined this show? You're definitely going to make a fortune."
Oh, make a fortune? Then I'll save my crying for later. My manager said he'd give me 5,000 yuan and told me to join a talent audition show. With 5,000, I could eat pig trotters until I grew into a giant. So of course I agreed immediately. Naturally, with absolutely no singing or dancing skills, I was quickly eliminated. Netizens commented that watching me dance was no different than watching a grandma picking beans. But my manager refused to believe in fate. He kept dragging me around everywhere, even sent me a few PDF files of an actor's self-cultivation. I played a zombie, played the mistress, even transformed into someone else's stepmother, but in the entertainment circle, I was still a name nobody knew. In the end, my company boss shamelessly sneaked me into a social banquet behind my manager's back. And it was at that very banquet that I met Shen Wen again. He was completely different from the farm boy who once herded pigs at my house. Now, he was aristocratic, cold, dressed in a tailored suit, the center of everyone's attention. My boss, who just yesterday was scolding me, bowed his head and kept pouring drinks to flatter him all evening. An unknown actor sitting next to me whispered, "That's President Shen, newly returned to the country. Our boss is nothing compared to him." I lowered my head in silence, only feeling that Shen Wen's gurning gaze was fixed on me the entire time, so intense it made me uneasy. When I went to the restroom, he secretly followed, pulled me into a stall, kissed me nonstop, and said he had missed me so much. That shameless habit of his was just like when we were kids. Then he coaxed me into marriage, all because he said, "Whatever you want to eat, I'll buy it for you." My mind was instantly taken over. After that, I went from being a regular buyer on 1688 to becoming a VIP on multiple channels, even a food critic at many famous restaurants. Both materially and emotionally, I was fully satisfied. A few months ago, since I had no work due to being too obscure, I stayed home with Shen Wen for several days, living in a haze of blissful married life without shame. But then, out of nowhere, I became popular and jobs flooded in. So last night, when Shen Wen found out I was going to join this reality show, his face instantly darkened. I was afraid he'd grab a disinfected soaked belt and beat me while sterilizing me at the same time. But the next morning, he still let me go. I thought maybe he actually supported my career. Who knew he'd show up on the show too, insisting I call him husband? My head really hurt. If I actually called him that in front of the cameras, my manager would surely faint that night, and even the story of me falling into the pig pen as a child would get dragged out for gossip. So after thinking it through, I secretly nudged Shen Wen's hand under the table. But outwardly, I politely said, "President Shin, tonight, let me serve you until you're full."
To outsiders, it looked like I was flattering him, clinging to power. But in truth, his Adam's apple moved, his eyes lit up. He was pleased. Yeah, just look at that smug face, clearly up to no good. Finally, dinner was served. The feast was absolutely lavish. The live stream comments exploded. Wow, just looking at this makes my mouth water. I'm drooling already. Chef Wong's cooking is amazing. I want to join this show too.
Look at that. Chef Wang pushed An Ning aside and sat directly in the center. Tsk, tsk. He cooked all afternoon, sitting next to President Shen, second only to him. Isn't that reasonable? The livestream comments began to argue noisily. I didn't care at all about being pushed away. My eyes were fixed only on the food piled high on the table. Chef Wang cleared his throat, pretending to be solemn. Welcome everyone to our show. He turned toward a popular young actress with a friendly smile. Welcome, Zhou Meng. Zhou Meng politely raised her glass. Thank you, Teacher Wang. Today I'll definitely eat all the dishes you cook. Good, very good. He then looked at a young male actor just as warmly. Eat plenty, Xiao Zhang. You still have work tomorrow. The skinny young man gave an awkward laugh. Yes, thank you, Teacher Wang. Then Chef Wang's gaze fell on me, and he froze for a moment. He seemed to have forgotten the name of this actress who had suddenly risen to fame just because of eating. Welcome you two. He brushed it off carelessly. The corner of my mouth twitched, but in the end, I just forced a smile. Thank you, senior. Then I immediately lowered my head again, staring at the food, swallowing hard. I couldn't take it anymore, hungry enough that my head was starting to feel light. I just waited for him to finish speaking so I could dive in. Finally, Chef Wang turned to Shen Wen. This time, his attitude was entirely different, respectful to the extreme. Gone was the arrogance from earlier. Welcome, President Shen. Your presence is truly a great honor for our program. These dishes, I made sure they're not spicy. You can try them. They're very nutritious. The other celebrities quickly chimed in with praise. Shen Wen listened with a detached expression, then suddenly asked, So, can we eat now? Chef Wang froze. The flattery he had lined up was stuck in his throat. He had no choice but to gesture awkwardly. Please, everyone, help yourselves. That was all I had been waiting for. I immediately scooped myself a big bowl of rice. Zhou Meng, from the moment I appeared, had been watching me with an unfriendly look, especially when she saw Shen Wen not making things difficult for me. Her expression became even more mocking. Now she turned to me, feigning surprise. An Ning, you really eat that much? I thought the netizens were exaggerating. I held my bowl of rice seriously and replied, They weren't exaggerating. I really can eat. When I was little, my family was poor. Whenever there was something tasty, I always gave it to Shen Wen. Even though in the end he would stuff it all back into my mouth, I still longed for more. So when I grew up and finally had a little money, I indulged myself and ate to my heart's content. At that moment, Zhou Meng slightly raised her brows, looking at her own tiny bowl of rice. We're professional actors. For the sake of our work, we can't eat much. If we gain weight, we'll look bad on camera. It's really painful. This display of self-pity instantly drew the live stream sympathy. Our goddess works so hard filming, she doesn't even dare eat. Poor thing, how much she must be suffering. We love you, sis. Even though Zhou Meng was very famous, I suddenly realized I had never actually watched any of her shows. Wait, Our goddess starred in 20 dramas with record high ratings and even made it into platforms' financial reports. Her commercial value is number one. Uh, did those dramas already air? Why don't I know any of them? Haha. Passerbys immediately began bickering in the comments. At the dinner table, Zhou Meng's words left me a little confused. But you just said you really wanted to try Teacher Wang's cooking. Breaking the rules once and eating a little more shouldn't be a problem, right? Zhou Meng froze. Chef Wang clearly enjoyed hearing praise for his cooking. The moment he heard Zhao Ming's words, he immediately picked up the ladle and piled a mountain of rice into her bowl. Smiling kindly, he said, "That's right, Zhao Ming. Eat plenty. Once you leave tomorrow, you won't get to eat this anymore." Looking at the overflowing bowl in front of her, Zhao Ming seemed about to faint from just the sight of it. Eat too much and she'd be stuffed. Eat too little and she'd ruin her image. But with the cameras rolling and President Shen sitting right there, she quickly composed herself, putting on a sweet smile. "Thank you, Teacher Wang. Today I'll definitely finish it all." Am I the only one who felt Zhao Ming was mocking An Ning just now? Yeah, it's just you. Our sister was only curious. Don't twist it with bad intentions. Don't use someone else's fame as an excuse to cling on. Anyway, An Ning eats so much but doesn't get fat. Isn't that just a naturally slim body type? Haha. A naturally slim body type? Sounds ridiculous. I couldn't see those comments, and I didn't care whether Zhao Meng finished that bowl of rice or not. I picked up my chopsticks and started grabbing food. The first bite was braised pork belly. It was fatty and greasy, but strangely sweet. Clearly way too much sugar. My throat felt coated in that cloying sweetness. I wanted to spit it out, but I couldn't. So I forced it down with several spoonfuls of plain rice. Looking around the table, the other celebrities were still eating happily, even praising the food, pretending they were enjoying a grand feast. All professional actors, yet why is it that the dramas they star in are always disasters? Noticing my discomfort, Shen Qi Wen also tried a piece of the pork. He frowned, set his chopsticks down, and didn't touch that dish again. Instead, he kept sipping water. Seeing his attention, the others quickly asked, "President Shen, are you all right? Is it too much for you?" Shen Wen nodded politely. "Too sweet." His body stiffened, and then suddenly his gaze shifted toward me. "An Ning, you thought it was too sweet as well, didn't you? You only ate one bite and then stopped." Shen Wen had said it bluntly. Teacher Wing didn't dare object, but now all eyes turned on me. His sharp gaze made it clear. If I dared say the dish was bad, my career in the industry would be over. But if I praised it, it would look like I was opposing Shen Wen, also a dead end. But I wasn't afraid of offending my own husband. Calmly, I took another bite of rice, then asked in return, "Then what about you? You haven't eaten any, have you? Don't you like it?" I tossed the ball right back. Zhao Ming froze. Teacher Wing turned to stare at her. Seeing Zhao Ming deliberately avoid his eyes, he immediately picked up some more pork and dropped it into her bowl. "That's right, eat more." Faced with the plate now piled high with greasy, sugary pork, Zhao Ming's fake smile was about to collapse. "Thank you, Teacher Wang. I really like it." The live stream comments erupted. Got to admit, An Ning is pretty clever. That one's nothing more than a vase. So it turns out Teacher Wang's cooking is just ordinary. Don't say it out loud, though, or you'll get blocked right away. Oh, I'm so mad. Sis, don't join shows like this anymore. Getting bullied by a second-rate actress and oppressed by a so-called senior. How unfair. Fan, are you okay? After the meal, though still full of fake concern and praise, I was stuffed. Honestly, it wasn't terrible,
But it wasn't anything special either. Some dishes were actually worse than I expected. I was a little disappointed. When the meal ended, the live stream wrapped up. The guests returned to their rooms to wash up and rest. For someone of Shen Shiwen's status, of course the program staff had to give him special treatment, quickly arranging a large, spotless room. As for me, I had to share a standard room with Jo Meg. Just the thought of her targeting me constantly made me feel tired already. At that moment, my phone buzzed with a message. Shen Shiwen, come over. Someone's getting impatient already, but I hesitated. Me, it's not really convenient, hubby. Shen Shiwen, then I'll come to you. Me, I'll come right now. The moment I stepped out, I bumped right into my manager. Where are you going? I stammered. My manager frowned. Don't tell me you're hungry again. An Ning, are you a pig? All you ever do is eat. He handed me a boxed meal. I really was hungry, but I wasn't planning to admit it. Then I suddenly remembered that Shen Shiwen hardly ate anything tonight, so I quickly accepted it. Thank you. My manager gave me a sharp glare, full of disappointment. Eat somewhere no one can see you. It was hard enough for you to get a little fame. Don't ruin it by being caught sneaking food. It'll destroy your image. I understand. He turned away to fetch more food. I quietly slipped to the door of Shen Shimen's room. Just as I was about to knock, the door suddenly opened and I was yanked inside. He pressed me against the door and kissed me until my head spun. Then, suddenly, knocking sounds came from outside. A sweet voice called out, President Shen, there are lots of mosquitoes here. I have mosquito spray. Do you want it? Shen Shiwen answered simply, no. Domeng knocked again. President Shen, are you asleep? I saw the light was still on. I have something to discuss with you. Do you have time? Finally, Shen Shiwen replied, his voice cold. No, I'm busy. Rejected, Domeng's tone turned pitiful. Please don't misunderstand. I only wanted to check on you. Not familiar. Then leave. Yes, then please rest early. Even though she was scheming, Domeng didn't dare provoke Shen Shiwen further. She had no choice but to leave. At that moment, I couldn't hold back a soft moan. Shen Shiwen prickly covered my mouth with his hand. Wife, keep your voice down. If they hear you, they'll be furious. Shut up. I wanted to cry, but could only grit my teeth and endure. Of course, Domeng heard something. Her footsteps faltered as though she wanted to ask but didn't dare. For a moment, I heard her voice asking staff members if they had seen me. The more she asked, the more shaky her tone became. The next morning, Shen Shiwen had to rush off for a business trip. Truly a domineering CEO, an almost mythical profession. Up earlier than roosters, to bed later than dogs, but still brimming with energy like a stallion. Once his secretary came to pick him up, I seized the chance while no one was watching to quietly sneak back into my room.
When I walked back into the room, I saw that Zhao Ming was already awake. No, actually, it seemed like she hadn't slept at all. She stared at me with dark circles under her eyes, her face showing both anger and helplessness. I thought she would cause trouble, but no. She just turned over, not even bothering to pick a fight. I didn't care either. I buried myself under the blanket and went back to sleep. When I woke up, filming continued, and a new guest arrived, a rising male star named Chu Xian. He seemed very friendly to everyone, chatting happily and full of energy. Even with me, a no-name actress, he was polite and kind. While I worked, he wasn't lazy either. Instead, he was eager to learn and willing to help with the labor. After the work was done, Chu Xian even helped teacher Wang cook. I didn't need to look at the live stream comments to know audiences love this type of energetic, friendly person.
To be fair, his cooking skills were a bit better than Teacher Wong's. At least his food wasn't overly sweet or too salty. The others, though tired and hungry, still had to maintain their image, not daring to eat much. But me? After a long day of work, I ate heartily. 3 big bowls of rice, all gone. Chu Xian watched me with delight. An Ning, seeing someone eat so happily when it's my cooking, it really makes me happy. I praised him honestly. Your cooking is really good. You did a great job. Chu Xian's face lit up with joy. Wow, thank you, An Ning. Now I suddenly want to marry you so I can cook for you every day. Thinking of the walking vinegar jar waiting at home, I immediately replied, no need. Chu Xian was probably just joking, still grinning whitely. But after that, during filming, he kept sticking to me, even cooking separate dishes just for me. I wanted to avoid him but couldn't, so all I could do was pray that Shen Shiwen was too busy in meetings to see this part. The live stream comments were lively. It really feels like An Ning joining this show is like a mouse falling into a rice jar. Honestly, An Ning and Chu Qian seem like a good match. Their personalities are cute together. One loves to eat, one loves to cook. I ship it. No way. Shen Qiwen and An Ning still fit better. The domineering CEO and the little songbird, you get me? By evening, my scenes for the day were wrapped up. After saying goodbye to everyone, my manager came to pick me up. Sitting in the back seat, nibbling on a plus-size egg pancake, I listened as he reported on my rising popularity these past few days. The response is really good. You've gained even more fans. But fans of Zhao Ming have gone crazy smearing me, which ironically gave me even more exposure. Strangely, Zhao Ming kept going online telling her fans not to cause trouble, only to be attacked by her own fan base. The whole situation was chaotic. In short, my manager was very pleased. An Ning, you're truly famous now. You need to be mindful of your words and actions. Don't let people think you're nothing more than a glutton. Do you realize how many people are watching you now? I know you love food and I want you to keep that, but you also have to be serious with yourself. Keep things in moderation. Be a role model for your fans. Eat when you need to, but don't eat when it's unnecessary. That's the only way you can go further. I'm just a food lover, and I still have to be cautious with my words and actions. It's not like I'm doing politics. My manager continued, you and Chu Xian really have chemistry. The moment you said he wanted to marry you, it shot straight onto the hot search. Now there's even a low-budget romance drama inviting you two to star as a couple. I hesitated. I won't take it. Acting in something like that would be too hard. The manager agreed. Right, I'm worried too. With your acting skills, you'd probably get cursed into retirement. But still, none of it compares to you and Shen Shiwen. Many people think you two are exactly like a domineering CEO and his little wife. Fans have even written fan fiction about you two. Strangely enough, those posts haven't been deleted. Of course, Shen Shiwen is Shen Shiwen. His aura isn't ordinary. The popularity between the two of you really isn't trivial. Hey, your names are trending on the hot search again, the manager said, pointing to his phone screen where both my name and Shen Shiwen's appeared in a trending list. And then he fell right out of his seat. He literally slid off the passenger seat, landing face first in a bizarre position, looking completely shaken as he stared at me in the back seat. Feeling that something was wrong, I quickly pulled out my own phone. Shen Shiwen said, I'm only on a business trip. I haven't been unfaithful, so stop coveting my wife's food. Attached was a photo of his professional chef's certificate. Oh no, the vinegar jar just exploded. Yes, that was a chef's license. Knowing how much I love to eat, Shen Shiwen was afraid that someone might win me over through my stomach, so even with his busy schedule, he had gone out of his way to study and obtain a professional cooking certificate. He could cook everything: fry, stir-fry, roast, braise, mastering all 8 major Chinese cuisines. Which is why at home, after I finished eating the dishes he made, I would end up being eaten by him in return. A perfect cycle. Shen Wen's Weibo post set off a massive wave. Our relationship was completely exposed. Netizens immediately rewatched every little interaction between us on the show, exclaiming in shock. I knew it. Shen Wen kept looking toward the entrance. He must have been waiting for An Ning. The moment you said he wanted to marry you, it shot straight onto the hot search. Now there's even a low-budget romance drama inviting you two to star as a couple. So wait, I just shipped An Ning with Chu Shan. Tell me straight, are they really husband and wife? Have they actually registered their marriage? How come nobody knew? In reality, we had quietly gotten our marriage certificate. Even our parents didn't know yet. We had planned to announce it properly later. The main reason was that Shen Wen was still struggling over how to kneel and apologize to my dad without getting chased off by his dog. But in a fit of jealousy, Shen Wen couldn't hold back anymore and revealed everything. I could only watch him one by one calling our parents, explaining himself in the most humble way. And me? I silently opened Weibo. No joke. I almost got kicked out of my own account because the notifications were too overwhelming. I had become famous. Completely, utterly famous. My follower count shot up by over 10 million. Practically every celebrity was now following me. My name stood at the very top of the hot search with the giant bold dot after it. If I had ever been this popular before, my manager probably would have floated away from sheer happiness. But thinking back to my manager's horrified expression when he saw me throwing myself into Shen Wen's arms and acting spoiled, yup, he really took off, flew straight out of fear. Even so, he was still very dedicated in helping me deal with the smear articles. Some people were accusing me of being Shen Wen's kept canary, or even a mistress. After a bit of thought, I decided to post a photo of our marriage certificate. Not to show off, just because I didn't want baseless rumors to affect Shen Wen's career. As for me, I was fine, still eating well and sleeping soundly as usual. The moment the photo went up, most of the smear posts disappeared. Many netizens left comments. Excuse me, how do you even land a domineering CEO like that? Sis, teach me how to catch a rich heir. What should they do? I replied, know how to cut grass for pigs, know how to feed pigs, herd cows, farm the fields, and if you can eat 3 bites and finish a whole pig, that's good too. Otherwise, just eat properly and don't waste food. Everyone suddenly had an epiphany. So the secret is to be simple and down to earth. A few days later, despite having no real works to my name, I became famous overnight and even took Shen Wen back to my hometown. The familiar smell of cow dung, chicken droppings, pigsties, and all the sense of nature filled the air. My father and mother each sat at the door, holding a pig slaughtering knife. I looked around. Good. They hadn't released the dogs yet. Seemed like my parents weren't angry. Without a word, Shen Wen stepped forward and dropped to his knees with a loud thump. His attitude of repentance was nothing but sincere. My parents were startled, nearly dropping their knives. Xiao Wen, what are you doing? Uncle, auntie, it's my fault. If you want to hit me, go ahead. My father snorted coldly. Hit you? Your bodyguards back there are glaring at me. The moment I lift a hand, they'll probably tase me. Tch, my dad even knew all the modern slang. My mother worried aloud. You're already married. Didn't your parents object at all? No. You're not afraid my family will take advantage of your money? Shen Wen thought for a moment. Money isn't important. What they really fear is that you'll come after them with pig slaughtering knives. My parents exchanged looks. Why? I weakly raised my hand. Because I'm pregnant. Yes, I was pregnant. Everything I ate came right back up. Turns out Chef Wong's food wasn't overly sweet. It was just my morning sickness. How embarrassing. I even had to write an 800-word essay thanking him and post it online. In any case, the news of my pregnancy made Shen Chi-wen overjoyed. He temporarily set aside work, learned every way to care for a pregnant wife, and personally cooked for me every single day. When Shen's parents heard the news, they scolded him for being shameless, but they were also terrified of my parents' pig slaughtering knives, so they treated me even kinder than before. Family relations were harmonious, and my popularity in the entertainment industry kept skyrocketing. Countless offers for movies, TV shows, and commercials poured in. Food programs alone were as numerous as autumn leaves. My manager, worried about my health and pressurized Shen Chi-wen, painfully rejected all the offers. But I wasn't willing to be just a little housewife. I insisted on taking a few ad jobs, just enough to earn money for baby formula. Instant noodles ads, braised pig's feet, stewed chicken feet, fried chicken, hamburgers, yep, all food related. Perfect for me. Netizens joked that good thing An Ning is a celebrity and good thing Shen Chi-wen is rich, otherwise the family food expenses alone would be astronomical. Earning money was happiness, but also suffering, because I was only endorsing the food, not allowed to eat it. At a prenatal checkup, the doctor said the baby was too big and I might be at high risk giving birth. Shen's expression changed immediately. At home, he still ensured I had enough nutrition but strictly controlled my portions. Every day I craved food so bad, I even dreamed about it. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. I snuck to the fridge, pulled out a box of deboned chicken feet, and devoured them in secret bliss. But suddenly, a cold laugh echoed behind me. I froze. Turning around, I saw Shen Chi-wen leaning against the wall, his face as black as the bottom of a pot. I tried to explain, but my mouth was full of chicken feet. Every word sprayed bits of meat. Shen Chi-wen sighed. He gently pinched my mouth open, pulled out all the chicken feet, and coaxed me softly. Bear with it. Later, I'll cook you something even better. At last, after nearly 10 months of patience, I successfully gave birth. Shen Chi-wen stood in front of me, eyes red, wiping the sweat from my forehead. He asked me if I had anything he wanted to say. I trembled, raised my hand. Get me a super sandwich pancake, triple egg, extra chili. I'm starving. Shen Chi-wen's tears vanished instantly. He coldly stuffed my hand back down. That pancake shop is all the way in Iraq. Don't even think about it. What a cruel man. I'll make sure to eat him clean to the very bone.